let me wait and see if anyone's watching. Hold on a second. Uh, oh, trying to do this. Okay, I've got some people joining me now. I just want to talk about what I do in one of my secret lives. One of my secret lives is actually making bird toys. And this is what I do for a living, and this is how I started my online business. So I thought I'd do a little bit of a bird toy right now, and I'm going to tell you about bird toy safety and all that other stuff. But this is my work table. I usually have my, you can see it, it's a mess, but I have my what is it? Oh, that's where I watch my Netflix. Well, I catch up on my Netflix while I'm doing it. But I don't know, like I know a lot of people, one of my biggest issues is bird toy safety. Like I'm totally obsessed with bird toy safety, and I figured it'd be good just to make a toy and I can talk about it with you. So I make bird toys for my business called Things for Wings, and it's not really, I'm not doing this to promote it at all. I'm just showing you bird toy safety. So a lot of times I use natural, like pretty much everything I make is natural supplies. So better not lose these. So I use, like, you can tell the natural things is because they're not shiny, right? They're in their natural state. So like this is a wicker ball, and it's natural. It's not glossy and it's not dark. So you can get these sort of things at the dollar store. What else do I use? Another place to get bird toy parts is California Bird Nerds. I used to sell bird toy parts for a living, but that was another life, that's long ago. So I use natural materials for stringing, and this is called paper rope, and you can get that. It's called Try Paper Rope, and you can get that at California Bird Nerds. And I'm just saying that she's in no way is she paying for this. She doesn't even know I'm doing this. But so I'm gonna make a bird toy. Someone ordered a large bird toy for me, so I'm going to make that. We'll see how it goes. So when you make a loop, so you're gonna make a loop. I do three. I usually do 3 long pieces. It depends on what the toy is. But you start with the loop before you make it. And when you make a loop, you got to make sure that it does not fit over the bird's head, right? If you're going to make your own bird toys, the loop has to be small enough that it won't go over a bird's head. So if you're just joining me, this is my other life. It's the downstairs of my house. And this is where I get up early and I make stuff. So one of the things I make is bird toys, and I sell them on my website. So this is my first live tutorial video. But so now I've got this. I've got three strings, and I'm gonna put it through here. So everything, I'll show you again. My workspace. So this is my computer where I catch up on Netflix. This is my paper rope that I use for everything, and then my natural parts, and then my drill. So I use the drill. Anyways, it's like my little hole in the wall, but this is where I spend all my time early in the morning and where I make my bird toys. Oh, I've got to do this. So maybe I should put it up higher. Maybe you guys can see better if I do it higher. I know you hate it when I hate it when people do this. So let's just do this. Sorry guys, this is my first. Oh my god, sorry. Don't get mad at me. Oh. Let's hope it doesn't fall down. Okay, so I use natural parts, and the only way you can tell they're natural is they're light color. And you can get anything at the bird toys at the dollar store. These sort of things you get at online bird toy parts place at Canada. I'm not sure where you get in Canada. I order in the States. So I usually use California Bird Nerds. And I use natural materials. So, and then I was talking about the loops. So always make sure the loop does not go over the bird's head. So even when you're buying toys, change the loop if you think it's going over, it can go over a bird's head. I also don't like some people have toys where it's like, it's long like this, and there's all this extra rope. That is not good, because if they're playing with it and then they get crazy and then it hooks around their head and they can get strangled. And that happens. It really happens. I've been online for years and years in the bird forums and all that, and people lose their birds to accidents. And if you've been on, probably know someone whose bird died from a toy accident. So, So anyway, so I'm going to make this bird toy. Oh no. I don't know. Is anyone watching? I got 19 people watching. That's pretty good. So, so this is my secret life of bird toys. So I use all natural stuff. I used to use plastics and chain and all that, but I don't do that anymore. So I'm making a knot in this basket so that the parts can stay lower a bit. So this toy is going to be called the this one's the winter shredder. Oh, so you guys can see. So I put things on the side. I always try and think of what my birds are attracted to, and they're attracted to like different textures, different colors, different shapes. So I try and keep a variety of items on my bird toys. Oh, watch this. So I'm going to put something on the outside. Birds love colors, so I'll put, this is supposed to be blue, but it's not blue. It's yellow, but I don't think they'll care. So, and I make sure every time I tie a knot, I make sure, see, this is loose. See how this is loose? I hate loose. Has to be tight. Super tight. I make everything super tight. Again, do you know, for no other reason than the fact that I'm afraid someone will get hurt in the toy. I'm going to show you this toy too. A lot of times people use these. Birds, if you give this to a cockatiel without checking it, like they could pull the stuff out and get their head caught in there. And this is too thick for a cockatiel to chew through. Like they could get in distress easily. I would only use this in a large bird toy. So this is going to be a toy for the size of an African gray or something. So that's why I use the larger parts. I always look at the bird size and use parts accordingly. I usually use balsa because most of my customers are small bird owners. So I use balsa for that, but I do have pine and stuff. I just sit here, like I have no rules. I just kind of just make toys. Like I sit here, it's like, it's like a I have a compulsion to keep busy, if you haven't noticed that yet. I have to keep busy all the time. I'm just one of those people. So, and I always cut these really short. Like another thing too, like if you've got a bird toy and say it's like this. I'm just going to do this as a sample. You got to check your cages all the time too. Say this is your bird toy, right? And it's hanging like this. This has weight on it, so easily, like birds can get crazy, and if they could hang on this, right? They could flip around their neck and hang on that, or they could hang with this. Now I'm talking a small bird, so I always fill the strings with everything, and then like as they chew it, I cut the strings down and I make sure there's only 1 inch. Only 1 inch at the end of a toy. So I trim the toys as needed. Depends on the bird size, but I always go with the 1 inch rule. So anyway, so this is going to be a toy for a larger bird. And the way I string this up, I know, like, I'm really neurotic. Probably other toy makers don't do this, but I string it so that it doesn't go right through and their head doesn't get caught in it. So I'll probably give you guys more neuroses than what normally you would be normally have. But this is balsa. This is just going to be a simple toy that I use with all my different parts. This is paper rope, and what I do is I twist it around a dowel when it's wet. It's paper rope. I twist it around a dowel when it's wet, and I let it dry, and it goes into a curl. So that's a really cheap bird toy part that you can make, and that's good for all size birds because it could be a foot toy or whatever. So when I make toys, I always try to have a story. Like, this may not seem like a story because I'm really nervous right now, but my bird toys always have a story. Whether it's a theme, a color theme, or a design, or whatever. Here's one that I made. It's one of my Christmas ones, and I'm not doing this to sell you toys, but this is one of my Christmas ones. I can't even tell if you guys are commenting. But see, the story is, like, just if you want to make bird toys for a living, because I'm not going to be doing it for much longer. The story to me is this: it's Christmas, but it's the plaid. Can you see it? This is a nice toy. I love this toy. Well, my lighting's bad, but all my toys are used with food coloring. So I won't be doing bird toys as much gearing back on bird toys right now. Only because they take up so much time, even though I love making them. Oh, something went wrong there. So with this one, it's for a larger bird. So I just string a bunch of wicker. This is fun stuff. It's called seagrass. You can get this at California Bird Nerds, and you can buy a big mat and just cut it into pieces. And that is another texture that your birds will like. I try and add a variety of hard and soft woods. So, where's my wood? So this is pine. You're wondering how I work in this mess, but I fill it up every day with different parts that I have stored everywhere. If the part is too big, you can just easily cut it. I have people watching it. I got 23 people watching my boring video. But it's good to learn about this. Beads, I only use beads. I try and, I go by, if my bird swallowed it, because I do have birds that swallow stuff, would they die from toxic stuff? So I only use natural things. Like, this is cork. A lot of people use cork in their bird toys. This is natural. It has no shiny thing. You can tell it's natural because it's not dark and shiny. So So cork is always a good toy part. What else? Coconut is good. I like coconut because it's a different texture. It's good for all size birds. But see, this toy is just going to be like an interesting toy. So this is the one string of it. And usually I untwist the ends. This is tri-paper rope. Under my mess, I have this paper. I like to use natural paper. Sometimes I'll use colored, but I like natural paper because the colored paper isn't made for birds, so I don't know what it's dyed with. Like I said, I'm kind of neurotic. So I'll tie, like, to me, adding paper to a toy adds interest, so like they'll go to the paper. I usually have my strings cut ahead of time too, so the lighting's really bad here, guys. Sorry. This is my first time doing this. So I'll tie the paper on really tight because I don't like it to get loose. All my toys are tight. Everything's tight. So this, usually with my toys, I'll tie a couple strands on and then add more volume. So whoever's getting this toy, because I'm making it on the fly, it's not going to look like a snowflake. But this is yucca. You can get this. This is called Wesco bird toys. I use their yucca wood. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's good to have a sharp pair of scissors too, so you don't have to drill a lot. But the yucca wood is from Mexico and Brazil, and it's really soft. It's softer than balsa, so it's a good material to use for smaller birds. And then I'll add another piece of balsa. So like I said before, you can get a lot of bird toy parts. It's better if you're just starting to make bird toys, try and order from a bird toy parts seller. So they know what's safe. And all these parts, this is all dyed with food coloring. So food coloring is, you can use food coloring and water or food coloring and rubbing alcohol. The rubbing alcohol makes the toys way brighter, like the wood way brighter. So this part is for a larger bird. I wouldn't, unless I was giving this to just this as one toy for a small bird, I'd make sure that there's no way that they could get hurt in it. This is one of my less complicated toys. So I'm just adding natural parts. This is I don't know if California bird nerds sell this, but birds like palm material. It's crunchy. A long time ago, my husband and I, when I first started making bird toys for a living and selling bird toy parts, we imported a container of supplies from India, which was like a huge container, like a shipping container from overseas. And I bought all my parts that way so that I could sell them and make toys with it. And I still have some of it left, if you can believe it. But that's what I've been using all this time, is still the remaining. So what other material? So this is like a wicker piece too. It's called, if you want to look for this kind of stuff online, it's called Lata, Lata. Lata. What?
I'll be upstairs.
Okay, Lotta. This is called Lotta. And if you Google online, you look for Lotta balls, Lata, and dye it with food coloring, and it's nice. This is supposed to be a carrot, by the way. Let's see. What do I got here? Oh, this is another good place to get toy parts is Zoomax. Hold on a sec. Zoomax has a lot of paper stuff. So this is another texture you can add to a toy paper. Like this toy would be great for an umbrella cockatoo or something. Here's another toy part that I wanted to talk about. Oh, seagrass. Seagrass rope. You can get seagrass cord. You can get that anywhere. Or no, you can't get that anywhere. They sell that at California Bird Nerds. And I like the seagrass cord because it's just another different texture that they can chew on. Like this is just a messy toy, but I just wanted to talk about all the different parts and why I use them and how I use them. So this would be something that a bird who likes to shred toys or just play with little bits of things, this would be a good toy for them. So I'm just going to tie that and leave that like that maybe. Because that's something they'd like to pick off. Like, do you know who would like this? Is my birdaloo. And here's another of this I talked about. This is paper rope. I soak it and wrap it around a piece of dowel and let it dry that way. And then that's another cool toy part. That's cheap. What other toy parts do I have here? Some people like to use natural wood, but if you're going to use natural wood, you've got to make sure that it's... Oh no, I'm going to run out of batteries. If you're going to use natural wood, you got to make sure that it's scrubbed with bleach and dried thoroughly because it could get moldy. So we talked about paper, yucca, balsa. Oh, this stuff I use all the time. It's called palm zigzag, and I just cut it in pieces. But this is what natural palm would look like. California Bird Nerds would sell this too. Birds like this. It's really crunchy. All bird sizes would like this. One day I'll do a video on how to make one of my fence toys, one of these. Because you can make those any size, for any size bird. Okay, and the palm zigzag comes like this in a roll. I make it. I just cut all the parts ahead of time and fill up one of my buckets with it. But I have to work in a mess for some reason. It's kind of how I thrive. I don't know if I set it for commenting, but I'll upload this video as a video and you guys can comment after. It may not look like much now, but the bird will love it, trust me. So, like I said, I cut the lengths ahead of time. So I'll add paper here, because birds like that. I'm still getting the handle of YouTube live. So another good place to get toy parts is Zoomax. Zoomax has lots of different parts, and they're from Canada, and they're really reasonably priced. So like I said, I'm just adding different textures here. Finger traps are popular. You can get those at a dollar store. But when you open them, if they smell, don't use them. Like that's another rule of thumb. When you're making bird toys, if it smells, don't use it. Like the natural smell is way different than, say, a plastic chemical smell. Like the ones at the dollar store, I think smell like chemicals. So you can get them, like eBay has lots of finger traps, and California bird nerds. Depends on the size of volume of toy. If you're just making a little bit of toys and you got a couple birds, I would just shop online at a bird toy part company. So this is just a shredding toy, right? And all these parts you can get, pretty much all these parts you can get at bird toy supply store, bird toy maker thing. So this is more, what else do I got here? I get my shapes cut by a company that does laser. This is supposed to be rainbow, but I'm not doing rainbow toys right now. Let's add some more. These are always good because they're colorful. I like them. I got these ones on eBay. But I make a lot of bird toys, so I buy volumes. So like I bought like 1,500 of them. And again, this is yucca. It's easy to use. I cut it. Can you guys see me? I use an X-Acto knife to cut it. Like if you're a bird owner and you know how to make bird toys, it's a good gig to get into. That's how I started. I started by selling bird toy parts 12 years ago. And then people weren't buying the parts, so I thought, oh, I'll make bird toys. Because I used to be a crafter, and I would make country wood crafts. And country wood crafts were so big, like really big. It was before China started making all them. You know, when people would have like apples, hand-painted apples and stuff in their kitchen or whatever. I used to do, or, you know, Janita's kitchen or whatever. I used to make that sort of stuff, country wood crafts, and I'd sell it on eBay. It was like, eBay was like the Wild West of selling back when I did it. It was like 1997, I guess. And I couldn't believe it. I started making these crafts, and then like people would mail me money, and I'd go down to my mailbox every day, and I'd be like, oh my God, the checks, more and more checks would be in there, and I was like, holy crap, I couldn't believe all the checks people would be just mailing me. And I was like, and it was when the Canadian dollar, like we were 60 cents and the US dollar was $1. So I would be getting like almost twice as, or not quite twice, but almost twice of the money. So I ended up just hoarding. I couldn't believe it. It was just like, to me, it was like, I couldn't believe it was happening. And so I saved it all, and we bought a second apartment with the money. And then China started making the country wood crafts. I used to do a lot of gingerbread wood crafts, and then China started making them, and then the Canadian dollar got stronger, and it was just too competitive. So I stopped that for a while, and then I got into birds, and then I got into bird toys. So that's how that started. There's some coconut. I had some coconut. This is pre-drilled. This is good. Little coconut pieces. So anyway, so back to the smell. So plastics, a lot of people use plastics, but they think the plastic is plastic, but it's not. It's rubber. This is corn. Anyways, hold on. It's, if it smells like rubber, don't give it to your birds because it's full of chemicals. Full of chemicals. We try and avoid chemicals as much as possible. So this is what I do when the birds are napping or before they get up in the morning. I can hear them. They're right above me. I know what they're up to. This looks kind of a mess. It's not one of my prettiest toys, but the birds love it. But I could spend honestly, I could spend like hours sitting here making bird toys. Like, it's totally my therapy. But I don't make my own bird toys for my own birds because these are too time consuming. So again, I took the natural paper, and the reason I took natural paper is because the colored paper isn't made for birds. I'm sure you could dye the natural paper, and you could dye the natural paper, and this is loofah too. So people use loofah a lot in toys, but I try and only use a little bit because what if they swallowed it? This would be really stuck in their crop because it's so hard. So I just use little bits of it so it doesn't get... Do I have people watching still? Yeah, I got 2 people watching. I just use little bits of loofah because I'm scared that they're gonna get that stuck in their throat. Oh, you can hear Lou. If you can hear me talking, you can hear Lou. So anyways, so the vine parts, you can get those at California Bird Nerds. And no, she's not paying for this. She doesn't even know I'm doing this. Her name's Anne. She's really nice. I just pretty much like, sometimes when you order from me, you'll order the picture and you get something that looks sort of like the picture because I kind of go. This is another part. It's called this is called cane. It's really just bamboo, but people use it for seeding, and it's not shiny. It's just bamboo shiny, but it's not like dark. You can tell it's not stained, right? So it's in a natural thing, but birds like this too. I think that Anne might sell that, but that's just another texture that your bird can like. I shouldn't be using yellow. It should be all blue. So I'll give them a star. So you can get the hardwood parts at you can get the hardwood parts at California Bird Nerds, and she drills them all too. So these I dyed myself with just food coloring and rubbing alcohol. So this is like a good toy for like an umbrella cockatoo that loves shredding. Like that, Lou would love this toy because she could pick all the different parts from it, right? Let's see if I can get a better light on it. So it's got paper, palm, pine, balsa, loofah, coconut. And I was going to show you this too. This is how I make my curls. So this is the red for the red toys. So I dip the natural paper rope in red food coloring, and when it's wet, I roll it on a dowel and let it dry this way. This is a great toy part, but I make it myself. And I buy yucca from Wesco. You can buy this. So this would be Wesco Bird Kebabs, and they have lots of different. But I use this for parts. I mean, I could buy a stick of it, but this has been pressure heated, so it kills all the little worms. See all those little things? All those little marks? That's old worms. Just to let you know. So when you buy things that are imported, this is another important thing. Everything that comes into the United States or Canada has come through a container and sprayed for pests. Just because of our agriculture, we protect our agriculture, so we don't want to bring in all those different bugs or whatever into our countries. So every container of thing has been sprayed with chemicals. So see how I work? I have to have a mess. It makes me happy. So everything is sprayed with chemicals. So you buy something from the dollar store and it's natural, which is good, wash it. I purchased all my parts, my natural parts from India. And at the time, this was a long time ago. At the time, they kind of snuck, they did a no spray thing where they pretended that it was sprayed, but it wasn't. But when I look back now, that wasn't a very good idea but no bugs came in or anything like that. But now all natural parts are everywhere you get. Sometimes you'll see like the Coconut King is another company that sells natural parts, and I think he advertises it as no spray. Well, that's wise because it's pretend, like they'll do that. They'll pretend it's sprayed, but it's not. So anyways, everything that comes in, if it's made overseas, it comes in here. It is sprayed with chemicals to kill pests. So you should wash them. So this is a really ugly toy, but I guarantee you the bird will love it. So let me see. Do I have my glasses? I wish I could see if you guys were talking or not. Then I could answer the questions. But this is just an ugly toy. I'll show you some other toys. Let me get some other toys. This is one of my Christmas toys. This is all done with food coloring. This is the kind of theme stuff I do. This is a moose. It's my favorite. So these are built on the seagrass mats. If you guys like these videos, I can do a seagrass mat toy. But you can get the seagrass mats at California Bird Nerds. And these I have custom cut from pine. So this is pine and wood, balsa. Most of my toys are balsa. So if you're going to buy toy parts and start making your own birds toys, get an assortment of vine, size appropriate for the bird. So you would get for conures and cockatiels, things like this, 2-inch size. Large birds, this is 6 centimeters. You get soft wood, yucca, and balsa. For some birds that like to chew, you get pine. You can get that at Zoo Max, the cut wood, and California Bird Nerd sells it. You can get cork. This is cork. California Bird Nerd, she should sell that. Oh, this is another one of the toy parts that scare me. These rings. Because this could fit over a Timney's head or a cockatiel's head. So I only use these for big birds, like heads bigger than that. I don't like these things. So I use them only for big bird toys, which I don't make a lot of. So you get vine parts. You can get coconut, pine. This is good to have. It's called Palm Zigzag. Let's see. Let me see if I can do some others. And you dye the parts with food coloring and rubbing alcohol if you want it bright, or food coloring and water. But you got to make sure it's dried really well because the water makes mold. That's why I like rubbing alcohol. The rubbing alcohol evaporates. What other toy parts? Paper is good. You can get this at Zoo Max. These are some of my specialty parts, but I bought these a long time ago. I bought a whole containers and containers of this from the Philippines. This is hand woven palm. What else is good? Oh, this stuff. I didn't put any on there. This is called Sola. And should sell this at California Bird Nerds. It's super soft, softer than balsa, like that. That's a good one for like budgies and stuff. So if you're going to make a budgie toy, you would use things like balsa, sola, and I don't mind using beads for little tiny bird toys. I used to be obsessed with beads, and I have tons of beads, like so many beads. This is just one of my buckets. But these are good for little birds. Like little tiny beads for budgies and stuff. And bells. Let's talk about bells. This is a big bell for a bigger bird, but I ordered the wrong size. And this wouldn't be good for a big bird because they can break that. And because the metal is so flimsy, they get their beak cut on it. Cut their beak. See, there's even a little crack you can see inside. But they would get their beak cut and it'd be stuck on their beak, and you'd be at work and you wouldn't know, and they'd be suffering the whole day. And again, I ordered the wrong size. These are tiny, tiny ones. This would be for like a little budgie or whatever. I ordered the wrong size, so I don't know what I'm going to do with them. These are pear links. You can get them at a bird toy part supplier. They're good. I don't have much luck with them. They're usually hard to open. You can actually get your own pine at Home Depot or whatever and cut it yourself. I have a big chop saw. I use that for cutting. Like, I don't cut pine. I cut my own balsa. What else do we have? Natural wood. If you're going to use natural wood, just Google bird safe wood, and I'll have a list of all the different wood you can use. This is arbutus. This is local to us. What else? What else do we got here that's good? Finger traps. You can get that at a bird toy parts supplier or eBay. They're good. But get them in bulk 144 bags, because if you get it at the dollar store, they stink really bad. You can get hardwood parts. See, I'm just making a bigger mess. Hardwood parts, you get those at a bird toy supplier, or there's one place, I don't know what they're called, wood cutouts, but a lot of people, they're not making these birch ones as much as they used to. They cut it out of plywood, and you can't use plywood because the chemicals in it. So you would only get the hardwood parts from a bird toy supplier. What else do I got? So the paper rope, you know about. It's called tri-paper rope. And if you have a bigger bird, you can just get the regular paper rope. Hold on. I buy this in bulk, but this is just that. It's called paper ribbon. You know, people open it and they make those paper ribbon bows or whatever. This is good for like an African gray toy. Like I said, I don't like using I like using natural parts. It may not be good for like a big bird, but I don't really make toys for big birds. This is another toy part that's good that people use. It's called poly rope, and you can only get that at a bird toy part supplier. It's a diamond weave, and they don't get hurt with this kind of plastic rope. Anyways, all my birds are waking up now. You can hear them. So I got to go upstairs and clean cages and all that stuff. Now you saw my secret life. One of my secret lives is bird toys. Oh, let's see if I can find one more toy to show you. They don't have to be complicated either. Like, this is just simple balsa slats, just strung together with paper rope. Like, this is good for a little budgie or a cockatiel, because see the different widths. are easy for them to chew, and just different colors. And this is one of my Christmas toys. And again, this isn't just to sell, but just different ideas. Maybe next weekend I'll make a fence toy. See if people want to learn how to make these toys. But this is one of my most popular toys. And you can make them as big as you want. I've got... Where's my... This. These are the mats, seagrass mats. That you get those from California Bird Nerds too. Here, Lou. Anyway, so this is one of my secret lives. It's whole downstairs. I won't show you because it's got a kitchen and everything. It's where I work. But this is my my bird toy room. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed it, and I don't know why there's no commenting or I can't see them, so maybe next time I will figure that out before I do it. I don't know why it's not. I got to figure out what I'm doing wrong. Anyways, oh, I see some words. Oh, there we go. I see it now. More. Okay, so anyway, so this is where I make bird toys. And if you have any questions about making bird toys or whatever, or if you like this, I can do another toy. We can make a fence toy. These are fun. And you can use whatever. So anyways, so bird toy safety is my biggest thing. I never use chain because I just don't like it. I don't use leather. I'll show you one time. I have a picture of Newman. I came home one day. Like, if you're going to make a shredding toy, if you're going to have a shredding toy in your bird's cage and they can destroy it in one day, you better make sure that every single piece of that is safe, because if they get something stuck around their neck or whatever, I mean, because I came home, Newman I bought a bird toy once, and it was all made with one huge long piece of leather. And it knotted parts together, but it was all in one piece. So it wasn't like the toy parts were tied on. It was tied in. And when I came home, there was a huge piece of leather looped around Newman's neck, and he was sitting there scared to death. So anyway, see the mess I made? That's the way. It was clean before, but I only cleaned it up because of you guys. So this is the toy I made. It's really not an attractive toy, only because I was scattered and I was just talking. But whoever ordered this toy, their bird will love it. And I hope they forgive me for adding yellow, because it was supposed to be all blue. Okay, thanks everyone. I gotta figure out how to turn this off. I'll upload it too. Anyways, thanks. Oh, did I show you this one? I love this one. Anyways, okay. I gotta go take care of my birds. Go to my other life. Thanks, everyone.